let's get started. So wherever you are, if you can sit down, try not to lie down because you might fall asleep because my voice is so soothing and all that. But get really comfortable. If you've got any crystals to hand, I'm using an amethyst and a citrine today. Amethyst for the North Node in Pisces, and that's where the sun is. So just a quick overview of an eclipse for those who don't know. An eclipse is when the sun goes in front of the moon or the moon goes in front of the sun. Now, UK time, tonight, really late tonight, the sun will be eclipsing the moon. That's why it's a full lunar eclipse. And so the sun is in Pisces and the moon is in Virgo. They're opposite. They're on the same axis of healing, mental, physical healing, but also deep spirituality and the occult. Metaphysics, sorry. So there will have that you've literally got amethyst and citrine in front of you. Well, who would have known that we would have transmuted that message telepathically? Grab your amethyst, people. Most people have an amethyst, and I'm telling you, we have a lineup in Pisces right now that is pretty intense. So we've got the sun in Pisces, the North Node in Pisces, Saturn, the planet of time and space, is in Pisces, and of course, Venus and Mercury will be retrograding. Well done, Monet. Get yours out. Will be retrograding into Pisces. So we're all being called into the Piscean energy, which is like the deep sea. It is about endings because it's the final house in astrology, it's the 12th house, but also it's about spirituality. It is the temple, it is mental health, it's where we are being invited in to go to the next level of looking after our minds, but also, really importantly, for this particular energy, it's about where those natural cycles are coming to a conclusion or culminating for us. And so having the amethyst out, and I tried to wear a purple shirt, but I don't have purples. This is as close as I get. I'm trying to be on theme. So having that amethyst energy around is just really helping us to flow with the energy and just ride the waves rather than be tossed around in the sea. And if you're anything like me, you've got seasickness, it's not great. Okay, so get comfortable. Take a really nice deep breath in through the nose. Close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. If not, you can just lower your gaze. For those of you who do yoga or like to sit cross-legged, that's perfect. For those of you with feet on the floor, just push them deep into the ground. Allow your head and neck to relax. Allow your jaw to relax. Allow your shoulders to roll back and relax. And with every deep breath in, allow the lungs, the chest, and the abdomen to rise. And as you exhale, allow relaxation to take place in the torso. Just allowing the whole body to relax. And just take a couple of minutes to just breathe nice and deeply on your own, allowing yourself to feel grounded beneath the feet and connected directly above the head. And as you continue to breathe nice and deeply, just visualize a beautiful white light energy floating down from the heavens, breathing that white light energy in on the inhale and allowing it to completely surround you, creating a circle of protection, comforting and soothing. And just allow it to wash away any tension, any negativity, and any energy that no longer serves you. And just keep breathing nice and deeply, grounding in to the core of the earth and being connected above through the crown chakra to the heavens and all there is. Let's just take a few more deep breaths. And when you're ready, get a little bit into the astrology. So I encourage you to ask questions. You can just message while I'm speaking. If there's anything about the astrology that you don't understand, if you know your chart, your particular birth chart, and there's anything that comes up around that, drop me a question and I'll do my best to answer it. If you don't know your birth chart and you'd like a free birth chart, message me that as well and I'll get in touch with you and I'll pull a chart for you. So, the astrology at the moment is really poignant for karmic cycles and the evolutionary journey of the soul, which is why we're all here. Just to give you a little bit of understanding, the spirit is the energy or almost like the aura that the body sits within. And you can think of spirit as being like a drop out of the ocean of the universe. So, spirit is one entity. So, there's like divine spirit, which you can call the universe, God, or whatever name you prefer. And we're all a little drop or an extension of that. Now, within that, we have the body, and within the body, we have the heart and higher heart chakras. And within that space is where your soul sits. So the soul is almost like the engine that goes through every single life. Now, it's different from the consciousness, which is the mind or the energy that we expel when we die in this lifetime. The soul is far deeper. The soul is connected to a ton of other souls, while the consciousness can go on through lives independently. Now, when we're part of a soul family or a soul tribe, we are almost one collective. And for each lifetime that we live, we come together, we have discussions, we make agreements about who's going to take what role, what we're here to experience, and how we're going to do that together. Now, a soul family can be spread all over the world, across time zones, across generations. So you could live with your soul family in the Egyptian times, in Victorian ages like today. So there's no limit to how souls travel and how they work. But what I would say is with a soul, you are definitely connected to a tribe, you definitely have a soul purpose, and you're definitely part of what you'd call almost like a soul family. So that's when you hear people say, oh, I think I was your mum in a previous life and now you're my son, or I think we were sisters, or something like that. So when we come into a life, when we're carnated or incarnated, the soul comes into the body. That's why the heart is the first organ. So when someone's pregnant, the first thing you listen for is the heartbeat. There's the soul. The soul is materializing and ready to manifest into this life. And that soul comes in with a ton of agreements, with karma, which is simply karma isn't crime and punishment. Karma is like habits and patterns. So the soul comes in with all the emotion from the past life. It comes in with all of the agreements, connections, other soul ties. That comes in with the heart and is literally presented in the birth chart as your moon. So if you think of the moon as the heart or the soul, and think of the sun as the mind, we have these two illuminaries that come with us into each lifetime, but the moon holds everything. So when you have deja vu, or you go to a brand new location and it feels like home, that's because your soul, the moon, the emotions are intact. Now, when the consciousness, as in the mind, goes through lives, everything's erased. That's why you don't remember your previous life unless you do a past life regression. Everything's erased mentally because the sun, which represents the masculine, and that is not a dig, the sun, which represents the masculine, just kind of stays in one place and everything revolves around it. Whereas the moon, which represents the feminine and the heart, is constantly making these orbits, these elliptical orbits. And when we're born, depending on where the moon is at those points, we have a south node and a north node, and the soul is incarnated through the south node. Now, that might be a little bit complicated. Don't overthink it. It's just, I'm trying to give you an explanation as to why something like a full moon eclipse is really important for the soul, for our evolution, for our karma, and our soul contracts. So currently in the sky for the collective, this is not a personal position. For the whole world, we've got the South Node, which is where we carry previous lives and karma and soul contracts in Virgo. And the moon in the sky is coming into just passing that south node point. So the south node is at 27 degrees and the full moon eclipse will be at 24 degrees. So they're close enough to be having a conversation, to be passing energy back and forth, and to be really impacting our lives as a collective. So what we're being asked to do with this particular lunar eclipse in Virgo is we are being asked to think about what we are open and willing to release and let go of as a collective. And if you know where Virgo is in your chart, as an individual in that area of life. So for me, I'm a Virgo sun. So this is to do with the way that I think, it's to do with my thought processes, my plans, even like my goals. It's to do with just how I see things happening in the future. So think about where you've got Virgo. That is where you as an individual can really open up to reflecting on those habits and those patterns and behaviors that might be keeping you or preventing you from living your highest purpose, moving into your destiny and getting aligned on your path. Why does that matter? Simply because if we're not living our lives in a way that's aligned, then we're suffering. And that can look like anything from finances. Virgo is renowned for being the accountant and doing math. It can look like our understanding of metaphysics. So Virgo rules metaphysics, which is the study of spirituality and the cosmos and the ethers and things that are hidden and unseen. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of ignorance, right? The planet of hidden truths. So, with this particular energy, we will see some truths exposed. And because Virgo is an earth sign and making it really practical and really realistic, for those of you that are like Virgo rising, Virgo sun, or Virgo moon, or even those with Virgo in the second house, you may be witnessing almost like a resurgence or a recognition or a remembrance of talents that you once had in a previous life. And talents are things like speaking languages, playing an instrument, knitting, just being like really good at something, having a natural affinity. And when you discover your talents, you discover a natural way of calling in money and finances and reconnecting. And because Virgo does rule math and accounting and that sort of thing, it's going to be a really powerful remembrance for you. So you may realize that do you know what? I'm great at gardening. And all of a sudden you start gardening and you're growing food, and now you're at a farmer's market and you're selling food and all the rest of it, and your whole life is changing. So allow this lunar eclipse that is happening tonight and tomorrow morning in the States to really be an opportunity of reflection and remembrance. You can set an intention. If you journal, just write it down. My intention is to recall any talents, bring to remembrance any past life karma, good or bad, that will help me to move forward and align with my highest purpose. So Virgo is really, really powerful as far as past lives, as far as having the South Node there, and for this full moon. And on the opposite end, we have the North Node, which is the opposite end of where the moon was in the sky, in Pisces, which is all about spirituality, and like that deeper healing. So, what if we don't have Virgo in our chart? So, everyone has every sign in their chart, Lindsay. Um, and so, if you look at your birth chart, you'll see which house Virgo is in. So, I can't remember your chart off by hand, but I think your Cancer rising, which would be which would make Virgo in your third house, which is local travel, it's trade. So you might bring to mind, you might remember that you used to like ride horses all the time. And maybe now in this life, you love driving, and maybe something will come up around local transport, maybe a new vehicle, or maybe even the way in which you get around locally. The other thing that could happen is, because the third house rules trade and learning, like being a student, you might decide to go and take a course or something that connects you with a previous talent, such as trading, right? You might find yourself working with like literal stocks and shares, or even figuring out that you love going to like what we'd call car boot sales here in the UK. Like I think it's antiquing in the States, where you go and you buy stuff and sell them for a profit, or doing stuff on eBay. But there'll be something that you remember that comes to mind where it's like, oh, this is how I make extra money. This is how I can like just be a bit more productive. But if it's around driving, I think it might be around how you drive, the kind of vehicles you drive, and what to do about a vehicle moving forward. So this is just a really powerful time for reflecting on old talents, looking at your finances, looking at math. You might all of a sudden be really good at balancing your checkbook, doing your accounts, and that kind of thing, because that's all very Virgoan. But just going back to the North Node, welcome, Angela, another Virgo sun in the house. But going back to the North Node in Pisces, where the sun is, because the sun will be blocking the moon, it's almost like we're being asked to drop out of the head and into the heart. So the sun represents the mind. It's like the way we think, all the things that we think are great. And we very often do this between the head and the heart. Now, I'm just going to share something, and not everybody likes this, but if you wear a cross on a necklace, you are automatically disconnecting your head from your heart, because anything that goes across is a disconnection, it's a block. Now, this is really political if you're religious or you follow like the Christian faith or Catholic faith. And it doesn't mean that you can't have one on the wall or anything like that. Just don't wear it around your neck, because Virgo represents the mind body connection. And sometimes we get so caught up overthinking, being overwhelmed, anxious, because we're not getting into the heart, which is where the emotions are, which is where the soul resides. And with an energy like this, especially with the full moon, you really want to get out of your head and get into your heart. So you can sit in meditation and just have, you can wear it on the wrist. The wrist is very different. But if you notice that you're having pain in the wrist, or that, you know, anything's going on with your hands, just take it off for a bit and put it on sometimes. Try not to wear it endlessly. but definitely not around the neck. So this energy is really about getting into the heart space, connecting with your soul, bringing to remembrance those things that serve you, and also those things that you're willing and ready to bring to a conclusion. So the full moon in Virgo is about what are you willing to end? What are you willing to let go of so that you can move forward, ascend into the North Node in Pisces, where we can all be a little bit more spiritual. We can lean into other cultures. Pisces is like the world without borders. We can figure out where we can learn and just adapt to new ways of doing things. Like you might be into chanting, you might be into yoga, different types of meditation, whatever it is. You might also want to become a healer, right? This is the perfect energy to start that journey. If you want to get into something like yoga, Pilates, meditation, anything that's like deeply spiritual, that is about the mind body connection, that is about healing the mind or the body or both, this energy will push you up into that trajectory. So set an intention, write a goal, take some time to meditate. If you enjoy the water, go for a swim. Try and drink lots of tea, lots of water. Herbal teas are great. I'm drinking good old PG Tips, which is better than coffee because, like, you know, that coffee's not the one. But just really get into your heart space and allow yourself to reflect and connect with the soul. So a couple of other things before we get into the Q&A. We have Saturn in Pisces, where the North Node is. Saturn is all about bringing things to a stop. It's all about taking the time, giving yourself space. Saturn has just been burnt up by the sun, which is opposing the moon, which means that Saturn isn't as strong. It's had a bit of a death. So you might feel a little bit more flowy, but just be careful of boundaries. It's really important that you have boundaries for your life. Saturn in Pisces is all about giving yourself boundaries, not being too harsh, but still figuring out how to say to people, this doesn't work for me. How about we do it this way? Or don't call me after this time. Put your phone on DND, right? If that's the problem. If somebody's constantly relying on you for support and emotionally you feel really exhausted, especially with the full moon energy, just let them know, I need a couple of days to myself. I'm not available for you right now, but we'll reconvene next week or whatever it is. The other thing is that we've got Venus retrograde. Venus is the planet of relationships, of money and finances, like personal income. It's the planet of desire and attachments. As Venus retrogrades, and it's a 40-day and 40-night transit, there are no coincidences. It definitely represents Jesus. If you're a Christian, just know that Venus is the morning star that represents Christ. And Venus is all about love, right? So Venus is about love. Again, it represents the things that we desire in life. Sometimes those things are extremely materialistic. Other times it's just the things that we value in terms of characters and, you know, the people we want to be around. So as Venus is retrograding, it's in the sign of Aries, you might start to think about yourself a little bit more, developing that sense of self, being a bit more selfish, but in a really positive way, and just figuring out what you can do to really enhance the way you feel about yourself, your identity, and just your self-esteem a little bit. As Venus goes into Pisces, then it's going to be about your emotions. Where do you need to regulate a bit more? Where can you really take care of your emotional self? Where can you do a bit more spiritual work as far as maybe manifestation, maybe releasing some material things, just really looking at those Venus themes. And then on, I want to say Saturday, Sunday, Mercury goes retrograde with Venus in Aries. They're traveling together. And Mercury is the planet of communication, of contracts, of hidden truths. So things will be exposed. If you've lost something like a piece of jewelry and you've been looking for it, Mercury retrograde will help you find it. If you have contracts coming through, now is not the time to sign them. If you absolutely must, because there's a deadline, triple check them. But with Mercury, we can expect delays in travel. We can expect things coming to mind that we had forgotten. And because, again, it's in Aries going back into Pisces, this is a real opportunity to rethink and review your personal spiritual practices. What are your rituals? Are you meditating enough? Are you praying enough? Are you, journaling enough, right? Are you really figuring out those thought processes and those emotions in ways which will help you to move forward and align? One other aspect which is really important is that we've got the planet Uranus, which is all about disruption, sudden changes. It kind of represents electricity, is in a trine to this full moon. So this full moon eclipse, there will be sudden changes, sudden endings perhaps, but also something really nice coming through, because a trine is a really positive aspect. So it's not going to be glitchy and horrible. It'll be like a sudden gift, right? So if you work for yourself, you might get a sudden contract. If you've got a job, you might get a sudden promotion. You might have some money turn up. I've had several refunds this week, one of which I'd completely forgotten about. So it's almost like these beautiful sudden changes, inputs coming in, and opportunities opening up. So this eclipse overall is actually, while it's quite disruptive, it's offering us and inviting us into a really powerful next phase of our lives. This year in general is all about the end of an era. We've got the big generational planets changing sign. And these eclipses are going from the 6th house into the 12th. The 6th is your day-to-day life, and the 12th house is just the end of an era. So if you've got any questions on the astrology, if you've noticed anything that's happening, like feeling really tired, really anxious, overwhelmed, bumping into strange people, exes turning up, anything at all like that, drop me a comment, let me know. I'm just always fascinated to see how these energies are playing out for people. Okay, so before we move into the Q&A, I just want to show you my nails. So I don't know if you can see. So I went for like a rose gold and black design, but I don't know if you can see on my middle finger, I've got a little charm, and it's actually a fox. Might not be able to see it clearly. And I found out that I got these done before I knew this. I found out that the fox is the spirit animal for Virgo. And it makes sense because the fox is obviously like quite crafty and tricky. Hi, Dallas. Crafty and tricky. And Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is the tricky planet. So, yeah, loving my little fox nails. Okay, so here's the section where we go into the psychic reading. Let's see what this energy is bringing forward for the collective. I know that there are tons of questions out there. I've spoken to several clients who are, I would say, struggling with the recent changes, especially in the States and the way things are unfolding. And there's a lot of uncertainty right now. Emotions are heightened. I know that people are feeling a little bit discombobulated following, recent events. I heard today that there could be a government shutdown. Hi, Tammy. Thanks for joining. That there could be a government shutdown pending in the States. I don't want you to worry. And that's really easy for me to say because I'm very good at not worrying too much, worry a little bit. But let's see what Spirit wants us to know. Let's see what the energy is offering us. And let's see what the best way is to navigate. So, just so you know, as we go through this, I always scribble. So, for those of you who are working on your own intuition and following your own kind of like psychic insights, I scribble because it helps me to kind of like get out of the way, get out of my body a little bit so that I don't block the messages coming through. So it's almost like hypnotic and helps me to tune out. I suggest scribbling, which might sound really weird, as a great relaxation tool. And sometimes, if you do it like with your eyes closed and then go back and look at what came through, there could be messages in it for you. And I've done this with several clients and it works amazingly well. So, if anyone has a question, please post it in the comments. I'm just going to start scribbling a little bit to see what comes through. Yeah, so that we can start tapping in to the energy. So there's a really big cloud that is coming over. Now it's a white cloud as opposed to a grey cloud. So we're not talking about rain, but there is potentially the sun behind the cloud. And as it moves across the sky, it will be revealing answers. So it's almost as if, you know, you see like skywriting, like a plane goes across the sky and you'll be able to read the message behind it. So it could be like, you know, like there's like happy birthday or I love you, will you marry me? There will be answers in the sky very shortly. As this cloud moves across, it's also clearing with it a lot of the smog, which I'm getting is like the illusion, the deception, anything that is in the way that is hiding the truth of what needs to be out there. As a collective, it's our job to really take the time to go within, again, drop into the heart space and figure out what the truth is. There's way too much coming into the ears, there's way too much coming into the eyes. A social media detox is a great idea at this time, is what I'm being told, so that you can go into your heart space, drop in, figure out the truth. And almost for those of you who are quite kinesthetic or you understand kinesiology, as in your body will tell you the truth, now is a great time to do like a full body meditation, kind of like a mindful like body check, just to see what your body's telling you. If you have a pendulum or a certain piece of jewelry or something that I'm hearing like that vibrates or resonates on the body, this is a great time to go into that practice. So you might, for example, go for a walk barefoot under the full moon. I don't know if anyone's doing that, but as you do that, you may feel vibrations underfoot. As those vibrations come in, they are bringing messages for you. They're helping you to decide and make a choice. They're helping you to decide the best way to move forward and what to do. So I'm seeing that there are several people who are thinking about leaving a job, changing career, moving into something else, and the opportunity may not have even arrived yet. But if you have the faith and the trust to move forward, as you lift your foot to go ahead, the next step will arrive. So it's almost like stepping stones in like a river or a lake, and you can't see them, but just by having that faith and stepping forward, it will arise to meet your foot. So if you're thinking about changing job, if you're thinking about moving forward into another career opportunity or another objective, now is the time to do that. Be willing, be prepared, have the faith and the trust to let go of what no longer serves you as far as work, and take that step forward. So stepping forward, allow the stepping stones to arise, allow the opportunities to open up for you. Sometimes you've got to stand at the door and knock for it to be opened. It's not always open for you first. The window isn't always open. Sometimes the handle's a little bit jammed, right? But if you move forward, if you appear at the next step, it will open up for you. So if you're thinking about changing job, even if it's just like taking another position within your current job, now is a good time. Allow this energy to close doors that need to be closed so that you can step forward into a new opportunity. As the cloud continues to move across the sky, it is literally wiping away, I want to say, like social myths. So I think there are stories out there about things that are happening, and this is particularly for the States. I'm seeing Elon Musk. I don't have an opinion on the man. I just really can't work out if he's pretending, if he's acting, if he's serious. Who knows? At this point, I don't care. I think he is an architect being used by the universe, as is Trump. So I don't have a personal opinion. But what I'm seeing is that he's putting out social myths, right? He's telling stories. He's telling little white lies. So there's truth mixed in with lies. as the cloud moves across the sky, it's almost like it's revealing and moving away anything that is preventing you from knowing the truth. So, you know, you have like a little scratch off and you've got to get a coin and scratch it. There's somebody out here who's got scratch offs right now or about to buy some. Go for it. Find out where your Jupiter is in your chart. If it's in a good place for you, you're going to win some money. And I'm not encouraging gambling. In fact, I'm actually anti-gambling. But I can see somebody, and there are two types of scratch-off cards. Oh, God. I don't want to go down this road, but there's a snakes and ladders, and there's a Scrabble. I don't even know if that's a thing. Maybe a Monopoly. I have nothing to do with gambling. I'm anti-gambling. But if that's what you feel to do, go for it. If you don't win a prize, you'll get a very clear message that is really positive. But this is like, as the cloud moves across the sky, it's as if the scratch off is being done. And then here's the truth, like it's being revealed. Now, what I would say is there's something going on with Elon Musk. I hate making these predictions, but it's here, so I have to say it. I don't think he's going to be around very long. And what I mean by that is there could be a literal physical death in about 3 years, or he will actually be removed from the public stage. So he could lose his company, lose his business, lose absolutely everything as a result of the work that he's doing right now. And this sounds like doom and gloom. And this is not a wish. This is not a prophecy. This is what I'm seeing. And it could literally be that he's removed and he goes to live in another country and his demise is on the horizon. Now, I don't know if this is as a result of the things that he's doing or the decisions and choices that he's making right now, or if there's something that he does within the next 6 to 12 months, but he is coming to the culmination of a cycle. He's literally ending a cycle in this lifetime. And that could mean that he either takes a really super spiritual route and just kind of like gives everything up and goes off and becomes a hippie, or he literally contracts some kind of illness and it's like his this lifetime ends for him. The good news is that he is culminating his cycle. He is living out his purpose. He has more than lived out his like destiny and his highest dreams. And if we think about things from a spiritual soul purpose, there is no judgment, right? There's no good or bad. People are not good or bad. They don't do good or bad things. They just live out their destiny and their purpose. And one thing I'll say about Elon is he has hit his path, aligned with it, and stayed on it to the very end. So if this is the end of his cycle, then it's okay, right? If it just means that he ends this kind of work and moves on to the next thing, then that's fine too. I think it's really clear that because Trump was hit last year when we had, there was a very specific transit where the star Algol in Taurus was conjunct, I can't remember if it's the planet or the moon or something. That happened last year. That transit is coming up again. Trump will not be assassinated, but he will have a huge change of heart, a huge change of mind. It will be as if he's been hit in the head, and people are going to be like really shocked. It's almost like he does a 180. I'm not quite sure what it's about, but I do think it's something to do with a certain type of policy. So either something happens in his family or something happens where he has to revisit and review. And the reason this is important is because where people are really worried, I think people at the moment are thinking he's lost his mind, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's actually a lot smarter than people may think. He is very strategic. He does know what he's doing, and he's actually going to come out on top with a very big positive outcome. And I think what we all need to do here, as far as like politics is concerned, is remember that politics is an act, right? Politics is not our real life. Yes, we're told that we are all part of democracy and everything else. If we can take several steps back and go within, again, into the heart space and decide how we want to live our lives, regardless of the act and the drama and everything that the politicians are doing, if we can take that step back, there's something positive in every decision, in every political campaign, in every politician's mouth for each and every one of us. I would say that gold is going to become very relevant. I am not giving financial advice. Gold is going to be becoming very relevant. So gold is taking an upswing and it's going to climb, and that will happen in the next 18 months to 3 years. There's going to be a massive change with crypto. So take everything at face value. Don't get into that worrying mode, like, oh, we're not going to be able to do this and that's going to be mad and it's going to be a disaster. Learn to be patient, try and tolerate some of the changes, allow yourself to go with the flow as much as possible, but look for the positives. There are nuggets of gold, there are diamonds in the sky, there are beautiful moments awaiting each and every one of us. And our only requirement is to look for those little moments. Don't get caught up in the news, don't get caught up in social media, worry less. And as far as things like cuts and job cuts, remember for many, many decades, so many of us have asked for the systems to change. We've asked for the West to be dismantled in whatever way we've asked for it. We just didn't know how it would look. So here we are. So many of our dreams are coming true right now. It just doesn't look great. But remember, as soul beings, we are being offered entry into the third, fourth, and fifth dimensions. So the third dimension is just the reality as it is now. We can stay here and look at what's happening. We can sign up to start in the cost of living movie, in the Matrix movie, in the political crisis movie. I haven't signed up for any of those contracts. My movie is the fifth dimension movie where I look up all the time. I tap in to my energy. I go in my heart space. I think about compassion and kindness. I look for love and where I can give love and receive love. I didn't sign up for the Matrix. I didn't sign up for cost of living. I didn't sign up for war. I didn't sign up for any of those movies. So I sure as hell will not be starring in any of them. You too can rescind your contracts for any of those movies that do not serve you. So whatever you're struggling with right now, remember there's a choice. Do you star in that movie and stay there and be center stage all the time? Or do you just like tear up that contract and say, not for me, I'm leaving that movie set and I'm going to look for a much better one over here? We all have choices. And as much as things seem to happen to us, we also have to choose to engage. So as this cloud wipes through the sky, it's revealing these opportunities, these beautiful moments, these great things. Come summer of this year, we're all going to be living a different life anyway. There will be opportunities like never before. There are new communities rising up. There are new job opportunities and careers springing up absolutely everywhere. Keep the faith. Do not fall into the abyss, stay out of the void as much as you can, and just allow yourself to be elevated, to levitate, and to move up with the upswing of the times. And let anything that wants to die, anything that's fragile, let it break. Stop holding on, stop gripping, stop trying to live the past. We are all moving forward, we're all moving into the future. There's a lot happening in Aries right now. Aries is about trailblazing. It's about going ahead. It's about being the first one. Aries rules the head. We've got Uranus, which is about the future and innovation. Figure out where you can innovate in your life. Figure out where there's an opportunity for you to do something new and exciting that sets your soul on fire, that lights you up. This full moon eclipse is saying to you, just let go of that which no longer serves you. Get out of the weeds, forget about the detail, move forward into the great unknown, travel, go overseas, meet new people, get deeply spiritual, like heal your mind, do the things that are going to make the biggest difference for you in the future. So I have a couple of people in my waiting room, so I don't know if there's anybody here that has lost a loved one or would like to receive a message. If so, just give me a thumbs up or a heart in the comments and I'll let you know what they're saying. So somebody's talking about, this is really weird. Someone's talking about a monkey and someone's talking about a bear. I don't know why we're doing animals. We've got a fox, we've got a monkey, we've got a bear. Like, I don't know if that resonates with anybody, but somebody's talking about these animals or like creatures coming through as if they're relevant. So here's what I'm seeing. Does anybody have a monkey or a bear as a sports team mascot or a school mascot or anything like that? They're coming through as mascots. So I don't know what that means. I don't know who that resonates with, but there is a monkey and there is a bear. So if somebody is thinking about, this sounds really weird, like going back to school or studying or visiting a school or something like that, look out for the mascots. There's a bear. It's literally a big brown grizzly bear. And then the monkey is like, you know, like a really aggressive gorilla, like with a mohawk, like, or whatever, or mohican, I don't know what they're called, but like, it's like very mascotty. They're both very like the grizzly bears or something like that. So the mascots are coming through. So I'm going to take that as a positive. So there's an opportunity for somebody, something good will happen. So if you're engaging with these mascots, even if you see them online, there might be a post, something comes up, you can take them as a timestamp or as a signal to go ahead and move forward. Education keeps coming up. Education is really key right now. So there's something around books. I don't know if anybody's reading a certain book or writing a book. There's something around education, literacy, reading, writing. I see that somebody is moving forward in education. There's a really big year. There's a big education arc coming up for someone. As far as like, I don't know if they're like an English teacher or somebody's going to be teaching English. So, you know, like if you go overseas, like I know in the UK, you can go to China and teach English, even though you don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese. So there's some big arc happening. And either the person is English or they're English speaking and they're going to somewhere that doesn't speak English, but there's a teaching opportunity. But there's definitely something to do with literacy, with books, maybe even publishing. So I don't know if anybody's writing a book that is watching this that has something to do with education. So it's not a fiction book, it's very much to do with education moving forward. There's great success on this line, on this path. So if you're thinking about education or if you're thinking about studying, go for it, figure it out. Even if you have, so I'm hearing that there's like a money concern or a financial concern, push it to one side, set your intention, and just ask the universe, how will the money come to me? What do I need to do to be open to receiving it? Now is a great time for receiving mode. I like to do this when I'm asking for money or finances to come in. That usually works. I see people that like click and go, okay, like we're calling it in now. It might seem really weird, but it really helps me. But there is something about those finances coming in to support that forward movement into education, whether it's as a student or as a teacher. That is a really big arc coming in for somebody now. So the whole foreign thing is really big and it makes sense just because we've got the North Node in Pisces, right? So this foreign travel, there is definitely like I'm seeing people moving overseas, either for work or for, I want to say romance, but it just sounds really sweet. It's a bit more than just romance. It could be marriage, like a lifetime marriage. It's really substantial. This move is not fleeting, it is a meaningful move. It changes the trajectory of your whole life. So if somebody's thinking about going overseas, even if it's just for a trip, even if it's just to be like, you know, I just want to see what it's like in India or whatever, go on, make the move. Yep, Monet. So we know that this has been on the horizon for you for a while. I think that Aries is really significant for you, and I cannot remember why. But with Venus and Mercury retrograding in Aries, it's allowing you to go back and review, rethink some things. Mercury definitely rules Gemini and Virgo, which is like the student, but also the practical steps. So you might have to go back to doing a little planning, like resetting your goals. What are the step-by-step movements to make? But Venus will be bringing the money back for you, bringing the financial opportunities in for you to make those moves. But Pisces is like traveling the world, like we're going overseas, baby. Like things are happening in other countries. And with the current political climate, whether you're in the States, the UK, Europe, overseas is looking fantastic. Like, I'm not going to lie, it might be, I don't know, Costa Rica, Honduras, who knows? But there are lots of overseas opportunities coming in for people. I know that in my case, that normally brings clients in from different countries. And I've already got clients in several countries, but maybe there's a new country opening up for me. I'm not quite sure. But there is this opportunity. So I'm seeing, on the map where you see people like jumping around from one country to another. So there's almost like a mass migration energy showing up, and that will be taking place between now and the next 18 months. So if you want to move overseas, redo your plans, like reflect, reevaluate, review. Mercury and Venus both in Aries, moving back into Pisces. So it's like, you may think that you missed the window, you missed the opportunity. It's coming back for you. But now you're going to think about things that you didn't think of before. So it could be like, what do I do about my healthcare? What do I do about my accountant? What do I do about my bank accounts? I don't know. There are things that will come up for you. So set those intentions. If you are thinking about, this sounds like such terrible advice, but meeting someone that lives overseas, get on the apps. I don't know what the overseas dating apps are. Get on them, really figure it out, because with Venus retrograde from Aries into Pisces, and also this lunar eclipse in Virgo, Virgo is the independent sovereign woman. It's not the virgin in the way that people think. It is that strong, independent, unmarried woman. So Virgo goes into Libra. So you go from Virgo, where you've matured, you've become this independent woman, you know yourself, you understand life, and then you get married. This is the time to look for that partner. This is the time to open up to marriage, to long-term marriage commitments or romantic commitments. There's a lot changing in Aries at the moment. Aries is like the soldier, the solo person. We're going from that into Pisces. So this is a great time to meet someone that was born in another country or has a different heritage or background. Let's go. Open yourself up. I think sometimes what we do is we have this prescriptive image of what a relationship should look like, of what home looks like, of where we should live and what our career should be. This energy is literally saying, just be open to whatever is aligned with your highest good. It might look completely different from anything you've ever imagined or thought of for yourself before. Pisces is about dreams. It's also about nightmares. So set your intentions to receive a vision in your dream or to have your dreams become manifest. Be a little bit brave, be courageous, and allow yourself to go from this full moon where something ends for you into that North Node in Pisces where something new can happen. So the other thing that's coming through is somebody has lost a watch that's very valuable. Somebody's lost a pen or pencil, can't be pencil, that is of value or has great sentimental value. They are being returned to you. So somebody's got a loved one on the other side that is gifting you, literally gifting you the watch or the pencil. They're literally handing it back. If that's you, let me know in the comments. If it's not, that's fine. Don't say it's not me. But that is happening. If anyone's lost anything, that keeps coming up. Somebody's lost something. Has anyone lost something that's really meaningful or sentimental? Because that keeps coming up and these things are being returned. They're showing up. And some of these things have been lost for years. Like you might have thought it was gone, you're never going to see it again. It is being returned, it's coming forward. And there's definitely a man bringing these things back. So it's like a fairly young guy. I'm going to say like maybe 30s, maybe late 20s. He's giving something back to somebody, and it could be something that was stolen, even though it's likely to be something that was lost, or you might have thought it was stolen, but it was mislaid. That is being returned and given back. There are keys coming up. There is a vase. We say vase in the UK. There's a vase showing up. So I don't know if someone's dropped something in a vase and you can't find it and that's where it is, or if a vase is being gifted to somebody. But there are keys and a vase that's coming up. Really, really important, really, really key. And then over the next, I want to say like 3 to 6 months, there is a transition for somebody, which is really important. This is a relationship transition. It is a separation or a divorce. Somebody will be leaving a relationship and stepping right into the love of their life relationship. And this relationship feels like it's more than just like a soulmate. I mean, I'm asking if it's a twin flame, I'm not getting an answer. What this is like stepping out of one life into another. It's like going through a portal. And this stepping into the new relationship is like this person literally leaves everything and steps into, it's like walking into the royal palace. Like you don't need to take anything with you. It's almost as if the things that were holding you back, the things that you were thinking about, well, if I leave, what about this? What about the dog? What about the cat? What about the hamsters? What about the new fridge? What about the cooker? What about all these things? It's like, just let them go and just walk out of that old life into the new one, because everything that you're leaving behind is being given to you tenfold in abundance. Your life, whoever this is that I'm speaking to, and it's likely to be more than one person just because of this energy. If you've got Virgo in the 5th house or Pisces in the 5th house, this is definitely you. If you've got prominent, so I'm hearing if you've got, okay, Sun, Moon, Virgo or Pisces, 5th house, Virgo or Pisces, 7th house, Virgo or Pisces, which would make you a Virgo rising or Pisces rising. This is the relationship that you didn't think was possible. You don't have to do anything for it. Step in. You don't have to do anything to be loved, to be adored, to be respected, to be appreciated. This is happening for you. Just be willing to leave everything behind, including the baggage, the old thoughts, the old ways of doing relationships. Get yourself some green crystals. You want, I can't even think right now, open up your heart chakra is what I'm being told. It is urgent. Do some heart work. Get yourself like a green pendant, something. You are literally stepping out of the old and into the new. And it's such a harmonious move. This is somebody from the past. So this could be somebody from 8 years ago, 16 years ago, even 24 years ago, if you're old enough, like some of us are. But this is the comeback. So this person that is coming back into your life is going to be so harmonious. They left perhaps harmoniously and now they're coming back, but you're both ready to move forward. This is a really big move. Anyone in the live who has like major relationship questions, drop me a comment, because I'm being told that somebody has a really pressing question. If you're worried about people seeing your name and know what the question is, message me after. Like, most people here have got like a number or something for me. Message me after, because that question I have the answer for, but I can't give it to you until you ask for it. I have the answer. I just want you to know that. There is somebody with a grey cat. This grey cat is one of those like Persian cats. If you don't own it, that cat is on its way to you. That cat is really significant. That cat is clearing old energy, opening up new energy. It's the most beautiful Persian cat. I don't like cats particularly. So if I'm saying it's beautiful, it is beautiful. It is soft. It is loving. It is caring. That grey cat is bringing in a beautiful energy for you. There are lots of upswings happening this year. I just want everyone to know that Wood Snake, year of the transformation in Chinese astrology. Last year was about the pivot and shifting. This year we get to move forward, shed that old skin, And it's almost like don't walk, run. Like things are just opening up. Lean into it, allow that energy to really move you forward and bring everything into your life that you have dreamt of, desired, hoped for. Now is the time for these things to really happen. So if you've got a question that you're willing to receive the answer to in this live, drop it in now, because that is right here. And I'm being told that that needs to be answered. I'm seeing roller skates and a skateboard. I don't know who skates or knows anyone that skates. This could be somebody that's passed that is a skater or a roller skater, like skateboarder. They're coming through and they're waving, they're smiling, they're really happy. They're sending you an abundance of love and good wishes, and they're letting you know that everything's going to be okay. I think somebody's had an accident. There's like a broken leg or a broken arm. If it hasn't happened yet, it might be happening very, very soon. You're a roller skater. Here comes the love and abundance. Keep skating, my love. There you go. Lots of happiness, lots of joy being showered on you. If somebody is Cody, there you go. Lindsay, you're ready for it, my love. You deserve it. Follow the guidance. So Cody was coming through earlier and he's returning the pencil, the pen, the watch. I think it's Cody that was giving that back, Lindsay, but I just didn't want to say his name without you coming on. Angela, if it's been a while, what are you waiting for, my love? Roller skating, here we come. Enjoy yourself. But there is somebody who has either had a fracture, an injury. It's going to be fine. It will be healed as if new. Don't worry about so there's somebody who's got to worry about like arthritis or like not healing properly. Like, so, you know, like if you broke something and it's like a little bit off now and it's not how, don't worry about it. It will be healed as if new. Use a poultice, I'm being told. Use a holistic alternative therapy, but that will be perfectly fine. So don't worry about the fracture. It is not as debilitating as you may think. Once you go and get it x-rayed or examined or whatever, you'll find out that everything's perfectly fine. But there are like well wishers just pouring through, like showering in of like happiness, joy, bliss. Like we're coming into the most amazing time. And if you're willing to step through the portal, not only will you find the opportunities that you've been wishing for, but the love that you've been hoping for. And it all starts with this reflection time that we're in now, where it's just a great time for all of us to like sit and reflect and figure out what it is that we need. So you're a Pisces. You're a Pisces. Okay, Pisces sun. Someone has just tried to figure out if that message was maybe for you. Do you know what? No one deserves it more than you. I promise you. And everyone deserves like good news in this area. But I'm telling you, like that Pisces energy is really, it's almost as if, because there's so much in Pisces right now, it's almost as if that parade of planets going through is giving you a clean slate. So, you know, like the cloud imagery, it's like things are being wiped away so that you can step into the happiness and the joy that you deserve. The only thing I'd say is like, really take care of your mental health, really look after yourself, like start letting things go, stop worrying about small things. Like Virgo is like the small details. Don't sweat the small stuff. Give things time. Like Saturn is time. Saturn's in Pisces. So you might be being delayed. You might almost be having like a Saturn return. So if you're like 27, 28, 29 into your early 30s, Saturn return, it's a big time in your life where you're going to be like adulting, maturing, and things might feel really hard. And some of the things that you've wanted happen. And then you're like, I didn't really want it. This is terrible. Everything is working for your good. Everything is about elevation and lifting you up. But everything in terms of Venus, Mercury, Saturn, the Sun, and the North Node, and Neptune, all in Pisces, is such a great opportunity for relationships, for work, for money. Just allow yourself to receive it in any way that it shows up. If there are delays, Mercury's retrograde, Venus is retrograde, Saturn's in there, just let them go. Take that time to work on yourself, get yourself together. This might be the time where you do, like, I don't usually recommend this, but it could work for you. You might do a bit of a wardrobe overhaul. You might do an image overhaul. You might join the gym. You might like start a new way of eating. All of these things, you're being given the time, like the gap, to get yourself all the way together so that when that person shows up, when that opportunity shows up, you are ready. Time is always a gift. So when things are delayed or when things look like they're going wrong, don't worry about it. See it as an opportunity to do some self work. This is what we're all being given right now. We're given the opportunity to close something off, do a bit of work on ourselves, so that we're ready to move forward at the right time. Drop me a message, Dallas, and we'll talk about it a little bit more because I need to look at your chart. But it very well could be you, like with that Pisces sun. Like the sun has just gone over or will be going over the moon in Virgo. That gives you some seventh house energy. Who knows? Let's see. Let's see exactly how that's going to pan out for you. But yeah, so look out for lost things showing back up. Look out for those opportunities. If you've got to knock on a door, I'm not saying like force something if it's not working, but knock on a door, ask a question, like present yourself, say hi, remember me? Like that kind of energy is working for you. Um, Step up the plans, push yourself a little bit. This full moon eclipse in Virgo can have all of us feeling a little bit lazy, a little bit drowsy, definitely exhausted. Push through it. Like you might just want to sleep a lot longer. If you're dreaming a lot, write those dreams down. There'll be messages in there for you. Um, and if you're feeling as though you do want to change your diet, the way that you work out, some of the activities, remember that Virgo rules the mind body connection. So now is a great time. Take up roller skating, Angela, get back to it. It might be the exercise that you've been missing that just brings you so much joy and happiness. If anybody else wants to take up skating, now's a good time. But if there's something to do with like yoga, Pilates, any of those really powerful mind body movement type practices, now's a great time to do that. Okay, so does anyone have any questions before we get into karmic release? No? Okay, if not, I'm just going to take you through a little visualization. You will realize over the next 6 months that soul contracts are coming into focus, old habits, like as in karma, things where you feel stuck, things that you might be suffering with, even agreements between family members and friends. So, for example, there are some people out there who I know that have maybe like a parent that's really sick and they're experiencing the symptoms, or they feel like they have to be the carer, or they're tied. That is a soul agreement. And it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, but if it's like absorbing you, or you feel like you're just too close to it all, you want to break that agreement and let them recover, heal on their own so that you don't take that forward into your life. If, for example, your finances are tied to somebody and that person is having a terrible time, you want to break that contract. If you're working for somebody that is in demise, that is like really struggling, that's going downhill, you want to break that contract. So if anything comes to mind where you're thinking, this isn't working for me, and I can see that I'm tied to somebody, you want to think about breaking that contract. If somebody's causing you heartache or pain or just like feeling really disappointed, break the contract and you can create a new one so that it becomes an upswing, like really positive, great momentum, rather than something that's making you feel stuck. So if you want to go through the karmic release and you can think of anything that you want to end right now, get really comfortable, close your eyes, and I'll just take you through this little visualization. So take a nice deep breath, close your eyes or lower your gaze, place your hands over your heart space, and just imagine that you're standing at the edge of a great river or a waterfall, just next to a massive, huge, powerful body of water. And just allow yourself to really hear the water, smell the water, and just notice anything around you. And as you stand here, a scroll will appear in your hand or in front of your face. And this scroll represents the old soul contract that you're ready to break. Take a moment to just observe this, observe how it shows up for you, and just allow the cleansing water in the background to flow and help you with this healing process. And now visualize the contract being dissolved. You can either throw it into the water and watch it wash away. Perhaps the water from the waterfall splashes and washes away the ink. Perhaps you take it and tear it up. Whatever you do, just allow that contract to dissolve here and now. And as you visualize the dissolving of the contract, just express gratitude for that agreement, for the person or the soul that made the agreement with you, and release them and the agreement with love, light, and bliss. And now just repeat after me. By the power of the moon's eclipse, I release all ties, contracts, and agreement that bind me to the past. I no longer serve outdated vows, karmic burdens, or illusions of duty. I am free to walk my soul's true path. So it is, and so it shall be. There you go. So tonight is a good night to cleanse your crystals. Little salt water, give them a little wash. You don't have to put them outside because it's an eclipse. Grab a journal, write some notes, and just reflect on whatever it is that your soul is ready and willing to surrender to the universe, helping you to align with your highest good and the greater good for all concerned. And just be willing to let go of anything that no longer serves you. Don't be afraid. There's no need to worry, because as one thing ends, another thing begins. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this really useful, and I look forward to seeing you on my next live. Bye for now, and happy eclipse.